Hello, beautiful artists. I'm Kelly Hernig, and welcome to my 100-Day Project. On Mondays and Thursdays, we'll be exploring 3 colors, then paint a subject to see what magic they create. Thank you so much for being here. Now let's go paint. This is what we're going to be working with today. I'm working again on my 100-Day Project, and it's about color swatching or color mixing with 3 colors and seeing what I can come up with, and then I'm going to do the leaf with those colors. I'm using the leaf because it's a simple shape and anyone has them. I just walk out into the yard, find one that I really like today, and that's what I'm using. I'm using a handmade journal from Sketchbook Company, and I love the size. It's small and it's perfect for this exercise. Now this is day 2, even though I forgot that I did day 1 on the second page. So I'm going to the first page today. I'm gonna use this little clip to hold things down. The colors I'm using today are Cheap Joe's American Journey in Apricot, Daniel Smith Manganese Blue Hue, and Sennelier Bright Yellow Green. They don't seem like they go together, but let's see if they create some kind of magic for us. I've already got them squirted out on my palette there. There's the manganese, there's the apricot, and there's the green. I'm going to be using a flat brush for the color mixes, and I'm going to start with one color, mix about halfway, and then a pure color, and then go down and do another pure color there. I want to start with manganese. I love the blue color of this. I'm going to add the apricot to that, so just a little apricot. Want to make sure that it changes. And apricot is an opaque color, which means it has white added. So you can see it got a little cloudier. A little more. It's also getting a little grayer in tone. Now it's starting to feel a little thick, so I need to add just a little bit of water to my brush. There we go. I like that color a lot. I usually like more muted colors. You can see how the shift is happening. Again, it's starting to drag. By that, it's getting hard to mix. I need a little bit more water. Then I'm going to rinse my brush out and just do apricot by itself. So you can see the pretty transition there. Now I'm going to add to the apricot, I'm going to add this spring green. Look how bright this is. Or sorry, the bright yellow green. So just a little bit at a time. I want to make sure it changes. Look how bright it's already getting. This color is so intense, I would hardly ever use anything like this without mixing with it. I wouldn't use it straight, I don't think. I think I'm almost to the pure pigment here. Let's see, just a little bit more, I think. One more shade, and then we'll go to the pure pigment. I'm going to rinse my brush out really good and go to the pure pigment. That's a bright one. What I'm going to do is get a brush wet, and I'm just going to drop some random drops on there. I like to just check about lifting, and this is the way that I do it. It doesn't take a lot. Then I'm just going to take a paper towel. You can see that it lifted really, really nice. It also just gives some texture to the page. I like texture. So what I did on this page now, we're going to use these mixes to kind of paint this leaf in. I just laid it down, pressed firmly, and then I took my pencil and just traced around the leaf. Just go all the way around. And if your lines are a little dark here, what you can do is use your kneaded eraser or any kind of eraser and just lightly lift. When I'm using a kneaded eraser, I just kind of like to lift it up and down and get rid of it. You could also roll it like that if you want, whichever way works best for you. My lines are pretty light. Okay. Let's start. Now, whenever I'm working in this leaf, I like to add a lot of water drops. So I'm going to get a little bit on there, and then I'm going to start mixing with water. So you'll see me, I'm going to dip my hand in my water and kind of splash like this, and that'll give it an overall texture at the end. So I'm going to start with this bright green because it's amazing. And I'm going to add a little bit of that peach to it. I want to make sure I have plenty of water. I'm going to go to this peach and a little bit of blue. Look how muddy that is. It looks great. Notice that I flare my brush sometimes. Sometimes I just leave it plain. I'm going to go into this blue and mix it with the green and see what happens there. It should be pretty intense, I would think. Okay, I can see it's starting to dry over here, so I need to work a little quicker. Okay, while that's semi-wet, I'm dipping my hands in clean water and I'm just going to fling some water on it. Now, if it's too wet with your mixes, what happens is the water it adds more water. It doesn't really add the texture. So I try to see when the paper kind of loses its shine in some areas, that's when I want to splash. I really like that color. Let's kind of mingle it in a little better. There we go. I'm going to rinse my brush because I want some of that peach color just by itself, or apricot color. Okay, that pink color, let's see if you can see the shine. See how dull it is there? So I didn't have a lot of water with that, so what I'm going to do is splash in that area there. And I want to splash there too. Okay. As you see, I'm just kind of adding different colors in the different areas. All right, we don't have any of the plain blue by itself, so let's add some of that. Such an intense color. Again, that color's drying out really quickly. Splash some of that over there. Okay, let me show you something here. Do you see how much water is right here in the middle pooling? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay my brush. Now my brush is damp, but I've blotted it on a paper towel, and I'm going to pull a little bit of that water up. You can see it just leaves a little bitty void. Let's touch it over here and give some nice colors. Okay. I want to add that peach again, or the apricot. I want to get it plain over here with these colors before it dries. Add some of that blue. A little stronger here. I don't really have that blue by itself. Oh, not any water with that. That looks really nice. I like that. I like that little kind of peaches apricot side over there. Okay, we've got the bottom of the leaf here. Let's see. I'm going to add some of that blue and green together. Now, I don't know if you've noticed, but this apricot color does not like to mix with others, where the green and the blue really seems to spread out. This apricot color seems to stick by itself here. Touch just some of that pure blue. And I think I want a little bit more of that apricot up here. Before it dries, I need to splatter it. Again, dipping my fingers in water. I'm even going into some of the dry spots. All right, I'm going to take a little bit of this blue color. Let's drop it in there in some of that water area we just added. I like what it did here. It separated very pretty. Okay, I'm looking for standing puddles. Can you see how wet? It's got a nice even wetness. It's got a little bit of puddling here and here, so I'm just tipping the page to let it run just a little bit into the other areas. I'll be back when it's dry. It's pretty dry now. I've got a little bit of wetness here on the leaf, but I'm going to bring you up closer so you can see the leaf. What I want you to notice is in the apricot color, it kind of repelled the paint, which is kind of interesting. So instead of letting it flow in, it kind of shot it away. It didn't let it really come in, where the blue and green really came together quite nice. There's even a little bit of granulating in there, which is very pretty, and that probably came from the manganese blue. So let me bring that leaf up to you so you can see all the beautiful texture. So you see how the apricot just kind of didn't blend nice with the others. And then I took a Unipin marker. You can see that I labeled them here on the side. So I used a Unipin fine liner, and I used the 01, and this is the light gray color. But I really like using this lighter color for labeling because I don't like the labels to get in the way of the colors. I want to see the color first, and then I can look over here if I need to see it. It's the same as if I wrote with pencil basically, but I like the idea that the Unipin is permanent. So thank you for joining me on my 100-day project. This is day 3 and day 4.